All right, welcome back. My guest is joining me right now, Air Vice Marshal Osita Obierika. He's a polymath aviator as well as an academic. Uh, AVM Obierika. How should I address you now? Or Dr. Obierika?
Don't call me
Don't,
doctor.
don't call you doctor. I know you're always against that. So, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Happy New Year.
Fine. Happy New Year to you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. The aviation sector is one key sector in any country, but it seems in Nigeria that it's only like when we have problem, or when Nigeria Airways goes down, or when we can't lift our passengers at the airport, or there's a problem somewhere, there's aviation fuel scarcity, that the news would also come to the fore. As it is now, Abuja runway needs repairs. We need to remodel our airports. Port Harcourt Airport, in fact, International Airport, was adjudged as the worst airport in the world. I think, was it last year?
Yes.
In fact, when I traveled, I was in Port Harcourt earlier last year. That I was passing through. I went to Bayelsa for a program, and I was passing through Port Harcourt Airport. I was like, what? Okay, that is why it was just the worst airport in the world. You needed to see canopies, and you needed to see all those like foreigners coming into the country. And like, Nigeria, we hail thee.
Yeah.
Was
that
that
anthem?
that was the old national anthem that was in Bonded,
Yes.
And I was like, what exactly is happening? What exactly is happening with the aviation sector? Can't we get it right? At least for you, I don't know.
Well,
you were in that sector.
yes.
You flew planes. Managed planes. Since then,
People.
now you are retired.
Yes.
Since when people like us were born, it's
yeah.
still not right.
Yes. I think that the genesis of the problem in the aviation industry began with the demise of the Nigerian Airways. We must go back to that. Those who unbundled, or what will I use the word, that wound down the Nigerian Airways didn't do well for this country, because the Nigerian Airways was the standard of measurement. It was the standard which you judged all the other aviators in the country. They were the ones who could afford to keep pilots, engineers, technicians abroad for sufficient time to acquire the knowledge needed, knowledge and skill needed to operate in the industry. And once that thing came down, then we had this all-commerce game in the aviation industry. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry who made some money through some sources, just as I own an airline, I operate an airline, when he doesn't even know what an airline. The airline industry is a very capital and knowledge-intensive industry. You must have the masters to run an airline, to be able to keep it going. And remember, aviation is a very important part of the national economy. If you do not get it right, you're going to have some problems. And these are the problems that have come over the years, because people who were supposed to do what they were supposed to do didn't do. And that's why we're in this quagmire. Port Harcourt Airport, you said, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to visit Port Harcourt by air. So look, let's take, for instance, the Abuja runway they want to resurface. Didn't somebody know some 2-3 years ago?
It was moved in the last administration.
It was more than
Yes.
Yes.
During the administration of
Yes.
President Jonathan,
Yes.
Stella Odua, and all of that, they
Yes.
talked about
it. What happened? Then what happened? I'm afraid about the way we are planning in this country. If you don't plan to succeed, you're going to plan to fail. So the government must leave their seat, come out and look for Nigerians who can do the job for this country. And I'm privileged in the sense that my career, 35.5 years in the career in the Air Force, took me to so many places, gave me so much knowledge, so many experience. And I know some people in this country who can do this job, who can work for this country, who can turn things around. The selection process has always been very faulty. And that's why we're still stuck into this place. They will have done the issue of Abuja. I hear them talking about moving people to Kaduna. Kaduna was never prepared to take the volume of traffic that will enter there. Look at the Kaduna terminal that they started building in the 80s. Up to now, it's not completed. And if they did that, look, Minna is closer than Kaduna. I don't know what the length of the runway is, because for the big jets to come in, you must have a certain length of runway and facilities. Okay, we could have done something by increasing the length of the runway. Some 5 years ago, if we're going to shut down the Nnamdi Azikiwe airport for maintenance. But I think also there are other airports in the country, in some other countries, where they have resurfaced the runways without actually shutting down the operations into such a way, like the Gatwick in the UK. So we must find a way where the company working can start work at 11 p.m.
Do you support the resurfacing of the Abuja, the repair of the Abuja runway now? Do you support it now?
Of course.
Because the minister came up with strong arguments, and I felt that, of course, when I was watching him and I've listened to him, I've read his comments, and I feel that the minister, Hadi Sirika, is really adamant. He's adamant and is insistent that the runway must be repaired. No, whatever anyone says, he's really insistent, and
that's not true. He wouldn't be in that position. Remember, he's working for Nigerian people. It's not his father's company.
He's also giving the argument that the runway, which was constructed over 30 years ago, needs to be repaired at this point.
Nancy, there are many ways to skin a cat. It's not only one. I attended one of the courses in my life, the Naval Postgraduate College, the United States Navy. I have chosen not to use the best way to do something, because there are several ways to do something. So we may find a way. I have seen the Koren, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, speak on it. If the company that is going to handle it, Julius Berger, is as good as the company claims to be, they can find a way in which they can do it and still maintain skeletal services into Abuja. Abuja is a capital, and if you cut off aviation flights into this capital, believe you me, our international image is at risk.
And our economic, we want to get out of recession.
Of course.
Our economic, Abuja is like, you know, the capital of the nation. And a lot of economic activities also happen here. Of course, I know that Lagos is the economic nerve center, but this is the seat of government. This is where delegates from other countries will come to meet the president and his officials and all of that. And even during the, I saw the question and answer interaction, the Hadi Sirika and some of the foreigners and even stakeholders. The foreigners too were not too, some of the embassies, they were not too even too comfortable with the decision at this time.
Of course. You see, in decision making, you must also listen to all the stakeholders and come to something that will be in a win-win situation. And like I said, everybody is troubled, especially foreigners, having to drive from Kaduna to Abuja. The government must listen to them. It must listen to. They are the ones who are going to project Nigeria's image abroad. And if they write back to I was a defense advisor, Embassy of Nigeria in Paris. If anything I wrote during that period back to my country, my country will accept it no matter what the French embassy here tells them. So when these people write back to their country, they will accept it more than whatever we say. So we must try to come to a middle point, and that's why the issue of negotiation is very important in anything you are doing. Nigerians must learn to have people who can negotiate on behalf of this country and negotiate very well.
So you're in support, let the runway be repaired?
Of course.
At this time? Should it be at this
time? What
we
can do, there can be some palliative measures now to keep Operation Skeletal going. Julius Berger, I think, is a big company. They can go to work at 11 p.m. Take one part of the
repair works should be done in the night.
Yes, by 5 a.m. they're out. All they do is to use network analysis, bring equipment, supplies, and everything getting through to the airport. 11 o'clock, they're at work. The airport is shut. You send it out in no time, an AIP. And then nobody comes to land at that time. By 5 o'clock, Julius Berger is out, and foreign airlines can come in. I think it would be very bad for our country if we completely shut down the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport. We must find a way around it.
About the Kaduna, because there are a lot of concerns too about the Kaduna airport, which you've raised.
Of course, I operated in Kaduna for several years. I flew in Kaduna for 22 years. So I know virtually every tree that grows off there and what has happened. The airport has not come up to standard where it's supposed to be. Ask somebody in Kaduna, let them send you pictures of the terminal building, facilities there, the fire
I think
service.
I've seen that. It's not as...
It's nothing. Nothing has been, the new one being built since 1980. Nothing. It hasn't been completed. So I don't know how they're going to have handle the high volume of passengers that will come in with the luggage, goods, and services.
Does it make sense that some people are also conversing that let only local airlines land there while foreign airlines just land in Lagos?
Yes.
And not Kaduna?
No.
But what also came to my mind is also the BASA agreements that we have with airlines.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they need to land at the nation's capital.
Yes, then we can discuss with them. You must carry them along. You must carry the foreign airlines along in order to get to a position in which we can be in a win-win situation. Because even if they land in Lagos, how do they come to Abuja? It's still moving to Kaduna, and the cost to the passenger. Remember, the cost. You buy another ticket, and you come to Kaduna, then you go on the same route. So you haven't actually gained anything by the foreign airlines not landing in Kaduna.
How about for those that are of the view that it should be from Minna? That that's from Niger State, isn't it? Minna is closer to Abuja.
Of course.
Like Kaduna, that is about 2 hours or so, with the dilapidated road right now, and the security situation, the safety situation, a lot of kidnapping on that road. And if you say foreign airlines should come in through that road, they will think of their security and safety first.
They'll be very
because these are people that are even with foreign currencies and all of that. So they will not want to ply the road. Despite, I think I've also heard the police say that they are going to beef up security. They are going to be going with the passengers in buses and all of that provided by the government. Does that hold water? Remember
that the criminals these days are becoming more intelligent. It's a cat and mouse game. They watch and know when the police not really operate. So I have been involved in security system. I know that there is no security system that is foolproof anywhere in the world. There is no security system.
There must be a place that can be pierced.
People can cage in. People can come in. So what we're saying, this issue ought to have been handled 2 years ago to get Minna ready to handle the big jets, so that when you shut down Abuja International, you can fix it and people can use Minna. And the route will be okay. Minna is closer to Abuja than Kaduna. I don't know the reason for this Kaduna. If Minna wrong way...
Well, perhaps it's also a political decision.
Well, that's their business.
You know, because when I was going through all of this and I was thinking, I was like, it could also be a political decision.
Yes, if you can
for people to land in Kaduna.
I understand
perhaps the governor of Kaduna State has, you know, lobbied, okay, you are building Abuja, let them land in our place first, so that there can be some kind of economic activity. That's my own thought. It may not be true, but
even
I'm
if it's true,
politics also affecting some economic decisions.
Of course, usually politics affect some decisions. But the issue is that even the governor is not an aviator, so he can't understand what is there. My people say, if you are not involved in the making of a masquerade, you will never know what is used in the making of a masquerade. So he doesn't know. For him, he wants to bring Kaduna into limelight. You know,
which is not bad.
Which is not bad, but he can't do it to the detriment of Nigerian people and the economy. He shouldn't. So he must have prepared if he had done well, and there had been security that people can drive from Abuja to... I know some of my friends who say they can never go to Kaduna by road, and they are going to go by rail. They now go by rail. They leave their cars here, go to Kaduna by rail, come back. Security issue must be handled properly for people to travel freely in this country. And when you are apprehensive about going on a road, it becomes very difficult
With
for
all
you.
the assurances from the federal government, will that still not suit Nigerians that are air travelers? Though that the repair will be done in 6 weeks, according to what they've told us, and Hadi Sirika says is giving us a guarantee of 10 years when the repair is being done.
Well, that is not what I'm after. What I'm after is, for the time being, in interim, how do we overcome the hardship and the difficulty that will come with the closure of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International, Abuja? You must look at that aspect. Yes, we want to do the wrong. You know, there was a time they tried to do a second runway. How much did the company put? 60 whooping billion naira to do a runway. When Akwa Ibom and Delta State built airport for less than 6 billion. One runway, 60 billion. Outrageous. And I think I was very happy the National Assembly threw it away. Because you cannot say because the money is there. Well, the money is not there again. Oh, Nigeria is in the new reality. The bottom has dropped. And everybody must buckle up if we have to get this country out of the recession. If not, we're going down. This country must, those people who can do this country well must come out now.
The option of building another runway
Yes.
while you allow this one to be and let airlines use it, does it hold water?
No, this runway at this time could cause accident because the way it is, the undulations, but because I remember Emirates, their aircraft had a problem on the runway. Another airline had a problem on the runway when they landed. So if the runway is not smooth enough for aircraft to take off and land, then there's a problem. But they are not.
So we can't be building another runway while we manage this one, so to speak?
Well, if they tell us that within 1 week they can have some palliative measure to remove those parts that are really bad, they fix them for people to operate, then we can talk about a second. Abuja actually needs a second runway. Because even if an aircraft crashes on this runway and closes the airport, you don't use it again. It can't fly. So Abuja needs a second runway. There is a need for a second runway. But there must be proper negotiations and pricing for us to do it at an international price rate, not the Nigerian rate.
How do you think our airports moving forward should be handled? Because the federal government has also reiterated that it wants to concession, I think, the Port Harcourt Airport,
yes.
Kano, Lagos, and Abuja. What should be done so that our airports can be managed well? Our airports are not even, they are not good sites to see.
Yes.
If you travel abroad, by the time you are coming back, even Lagos or Abuja airports, international airport, by the time you are coming back, either water is dropping on your head or the AC is not working or something, but you don't get to see that abroad. Even well, at the, what's the name of the Ghana airport called? It's still
Kotoka.
Yes, Kotoka. Nice, it's you know.
Of course, properly. This is, maintenance is the issue. Now see, an airport is a tourist attraction. And I can tell you, as a primary school boy in Enugu, we trekked 2 miles to go to Enugu Airport to see an aeroplane for the first time when we were in primary school. So let's go and see an airplane. So people who have never seen an airplane want to go and see an airplane.
Did you know at that time you wanted to be an aviator?
I didn't know.
Okay, so.
But one thing or the other, later another thing, and it happened. But that memory stayed there for some time. So what we are saying, this is a tourist attraction. It must be done in such a way that people can visit the airport. People can come to when you are concessioning, what is the agreement between the government and those who are taking the airport on concession? You've seen what happened, but I want first of all to know which airport has been very profitable after it has been concessioned in Nigeria. I want to know, because past is a prelude to what we are going to do. Let us see the one that has succeeded. Then we can do more. But I'm afraid. I don't know. Is it you concession the terminal building and leave the runway? Who has security? Remember, between the land side, that from where you converge to the airport, and the airside. The terminal building is the dividing point between two of them. So what happens, and when it comes to aviation security, what you're trying to do is to ensure that the terrorist or the hijacker does not have access to the aircraft, which is the main target. Either to destroy the target aircraft on the ground or in the air, or to kill people. So you must, who is in charge? It must be stated out, because some people say, oh, we're only having the terminal. We are not having the runway. So the periphery can be broken at by anybody. So these things must be talked about. Who is to do what, at what time and when.
That brings me to the establishment of a national carrier. Should we take that seriously? And what model should it look like? Well,
I have always said it's neither here nor there, but it is there.
Because we don't have a national carrier.
There is no national carrier.
What we have private airlines.
Because the national carrier is a symbol of your foreign policy.
Does it make business sense?
It does.
Have a national
some
carrier?
Countries have, some have succeeded, some have failed.
Yeah.
Many private airlines, Panam, where is Panam today? Many private airlines have failed. Many government-owned airlines have failed. Many private airlines are succeeding. Many government public-owned airlines are succeeding. KLM, the first airline in the world, 1919. Look at, I don't want to use the word, I'm on air. Look at Ethiopia.
Ethiopia
Airlines. Compare Ethiopia with Nigeria. Look at Kenya. Are they not flying? If you put the right people to manage, they will do the job.
Is it talking about management right now, or the model? Should there be a PPP kind of model?
Well, people can buy shares.
To establish a national carrier?
People can buy shares in the establishment of a national carrier. So we don't leave it to the government all alone. You know what killed Nigerian Airways? Everything was bankrolled by the government. And some people felt it was a place, okay, let's go make our money and go away. But the airline industry, like the first president of ICAO Council, Edward P. Warner said, polymath aviators must be the people to handle. There's somebody who is very much versed in both the science and arts of aviation. Moving. I give you an example. There was one man called Johan Carlson, managing director of Scandinavian Airline System, and he said, the moment of truth is when a customer meets the first staff of an airline. How that person is received. You go today, you want to fly from Lagos to Abuja, 10 o'clock in the morning. You don't get to leave Lagos until 5 p.m.
Yes, we shouldn't even say
and
that.
And then nobody pays you money.
Yes, we shouldn't even say that. A lot of Nigerians have their own experiences. For me, I had my own experience.
Yes.
Even over the holiday, Aviation Airline is still owing me 72,000 now as I speak.
As you speak.
Because we couldn't fly, and they've not refunded my money.
And they couldn't even give you any compensation.
And there's no compensation.
In Europe, there is a compensation plan for European Union. If an airline delays your flight for a certain number of hours, they pay you money.
They pay you.
Yes.
So what should we do to even fix those challenges? The challenges which I've just spoken about right now. You want to fly, you're not able to fly.
Yes.
You will be at the airport even for one day. Some will sleep over.
Yes.
What also happened in New York, I think, is also Arik left people's luggages over there. Yes. I think it had to take the intervention. I think the chief of staff to the president spoke about it and all of that. What should happen in that process?
You see, decision taking in airline business is very fast. Nobody who has an airline keeps the aircraft on the ground. You don't make money. You make money for your competitors. So your aircraft must be flying as frequently as possible. Therefore, the maintenance section must be standing on their toes. Once the aircraft comes into the hangar, within a short period, it's done and it's out, because aircraft make money when they're flying. When they're on the ground, they don't make money. So I think the minister himself should call for a meeting of stakeholders and interested parties.
Hasn't he done that?
Anyway, I don't know.
There's some stakeholders said they've not had enough engagements with
the minister.
With the minister. Now, where does corruption come into all of this?
Corruption.
What does corruption also come into all of this, just before we end the program? As well as the job of the regulators. Like these complaints that I've given now, I know other Nigerians have that complaint. I also know of someone that has paid airline fees for since October last year, has not collected his money till now. What should regulators do?
Well, I think one of the things
they
that
collect taxes, they don't remit.
In the aviation sector, we have 3 sectors: operations, administration, and regulations. The regulatory body must be strong enough. You must have people there who can look into the eyes of human beings who own the airlines and tell them, sorry, you can't do this. And once you don't have people who can say that and have knowledge of the industry, then you're going to have a problem. People do what they like and say, okay, after all, after some time, they just go. So we must try to get our aviation back to where it was when the Nigerian Airways was flying. This is what I want to do, instead of this case of all comers into the aviation industry without knowing what the job is supposed to be.
Okay, I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Joseph is saying thanks to your guest. While Francis Jethro is saying, would it be more safer for, why not closing the airport? Our leaders are selfish. What about the roads where the masses use all day? Anyway, that's the much we can take on today's edition. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, I've been speaking with Air Vice Marshal, retired Osita Obierika, and we've been looking at the aviation sector. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being a part of our company. On behalf of my crew and I, of course, be the change you want to see and be the best that you can be.
Thank you. Thank you.
And be the best that you want to be.
Yes.
Do have a lovely weekend, everyone. I hope to see you all on Monday. I am Nancy Naji. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.